And we are live. Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Those
Those
Guys.
guys.
Not bad, Tammy. How are you?
I'm doing well, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. The guys should love this stream because they don't have to look at Herman here. They got you up here. They don't have
But
to look at
Herman does a
one.
great job. Everyone's missing Herman right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, okay. Well,
Well,
if you
thank
don't
you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for covering, for filling in for Herman. Herman's a football coach, and his team for high school football here down in the five boroughs has been number one for the last 3 years. So
Oh,
they're trying to go
wow.
for a four-peat this year, and of course the champions got to go practice. And Herman's one of the defensive coaches, so they all went up to football camp.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal.
Yes, yes, yes. But thank you for filling in. I really appreciate it. I've
Oh,
been
you're
I've
most
been
welcome.
I've been wanting to get people on here. The thing is, it's not always easy with people's time schedules and et cetera, et cetera. Let's see. Jackrabbit says Herman who?
No, it's true. It's very hard with people's schedules and stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm a very big fan of those guys, but I'm not always able to be in the chat. But I always try to listen no matter where I am. I try to tune in, even if I don't seem to be around. I'm probably around stalking those guys.
Well, no, I do lurking too. Unfortunately, I'm the kind of person that wakes up the rooster in the morning. So I
Ah,
often go to bed if I'm bored, 9 o'clock,
yeah.
8:30, but I'm up at 4:30 in the morning every morning.
Oh, okay.
So my day, by the time some people are eating breakfast about 8 or 9, I'm ready to eat freaking lunch.
Yeah. Well, different hours, right?
Yeah, yeah. But what's good with you? What's going on in your life? We usually BS around for about 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes depending, while people come in and I say hello to people. What's happening in your world?
Well, we've been busy on this end doing a lot of traveling. I just visited my father in Ohio and my daughter in Tennessee. So I was driving all over the states with my dog and my cat in the car. Meanwhile, Max went to the Chicago meetup and Ken Heron's meetup at Minefield. So we've
Hmm.
both been driving all over, and nice to be back home finally and going through hours and hours of video footage.
That's the fun part when getting home. I mean, after traveling, the first thing I want to do is just be on my computer for like 2 days straight.
Oh, I feel like I need a month off because I think I was already behind on editing some video and now I've got so much more. I mean, there are so many beautiful places in the country and I got to see some good stuff from the road and from the drone's eye view. So there'll be some more videos coming out if I could just get to it.
That's understandable because it's double hard if you fly FPV and camera drones. And a lot of people don't realize that if you fly one or the other, if you fly a camera drone, it's a lot easier than flying a camera drone and FPV. And it's the same thing with FPV. If you fly FPV and not a camera drone, or you do both, it's a handful.
Yeah, and I end up, I think, a lot of the time putting both of them up. So there's there's all the footage from my Phantom 4 to go through, and there's all the footage from my DJI FPV to go through,
Hmm.
put it all together. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's fun. Then a few pictures too.
Ray Kelly says he's look forward to your videos in the future. What's up,
Thank you, Ray.
everybody? Huh?
I said, thank you, Ray.
Well, don't feel free to cut me off because Herman says I'm the one who kind of talks a little too much and oversplashes people. But I just wanted to point out Gary seems to be late to most live streams, but he's early to this one. I
Oh,
think
is
you
that
may have a lot to do with that.
right?
How's Max and the dog? What's going on with those guys?
Everyone's doing well. We actually had a little mini meetup this weekend. We
I
did a little.
know, I know, I know. That was too.
That was
It was too. You gave me enough time, but it wasn't enough time.
yeah, but from what you've told me now, though, it sounds like it was under your preferred hours. I mean, we did sunrise.
Well, no,
Sunrise with Stevie Bronx, and then a little bit later on at our nearby train trestle with Charlie Mafia and with Tony from Quadcopters and Tech. So we had a good
okay.
little
Okay,
meetup.
so you guys went. I was wondering who the extra person was. I couldn't figure him out. I saw a video somewhere and I saw Tony. It was Stevie Bronx probably. I saw someone on the side, but I couldn't, they weren't on screen long enough for me to identify. What's up, North Side, everybody? Johnny Drone Flyer, Ray Kelly, Jody Drone Shots, Gary Brandt, Aerial Third Eye View, SJM Drones, and anyone else, AZ Drone Dudes. How's everyone doing? There's 13 people in here. Click that like button, please. We'd appreciate it. But anyway, as you haven't, if you can't already tell, Herman is not here, and we have a co-host, Tammie Jean. And I wanted to point out something with you. What got me into your channel before, well, maybe it wasn't before you started flying. How long you been flying FPV?
Well, I started my channel when I got my DJI FPV drone. I didn't have a channel before then. I was really just around on Max's channel, I guess, and commenting. But when I got the DJI FPV for my birthday last year is when I started my channel so that I could document my progress. You know, those early videos aren't very good, but they are good to help you see the progress you've made. So
They are,
that's,
but this one here kind of had me like, there are parts in New York where I can go fly the mountains. I just have to get up there.
oh yeah,
Now, see, the
we're,
problem is I am so far south in New York, I can walk 3 blocks and throw something into the Atlantic Ocean. So to
yeah.
travel, yes, so to travel north, it's it's a little bit of a ride. It, it's a little bit of a ride, but I wanted to show this video real quick because I've always wanted to catch the clouds like this, and the only place you can catch it is upstate New York.
Yeah, and actually, you have a better chance of getting them in the fall as well. Something about the cool overnights and the sun, heating the area up in the morning makes that morning fog. And yeah, that we caught it really nicely that day.
I actually gonna stop the video, and I'm letting you know now. YouTube is very funny. Anywhere between now and the next 6 months, you may get a warning saying Novice Quads was playing your video on
Oh,
their
no
screen.
kidding.
What do you want to do? So
Oh, wow.
please just say it was okay or whatever, because they're funny. I've shown stuff from those guys on those guys episode from 2 years ago, and I'm just now getting a copyright little smack on the hand about that. So they're kind of
Wow.
funny. So I'm giving you a heads up. Anywhere from a month to 6 months, you'll probably hear from YouTube, and YouTube will say, "Well, Novice Quads was playing. Hey, JSK, what's up, Maddie? He was playing your video on his live stream."
Oh, good to know. I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do. So just a heads up. They're trying to stay on point. I actually had a gentleman take my one of my camera drone videos, and only thing he did was take the music off that I had and put 50 Cent, one of 50 Cent's rap songs. And he started getting crazy hits from it. And YouTube was like, hey, this guy didn't have 10 views a month ago, and now he's got all these subscribers. So what they do is they look at the video, and they was like, wait a minute, their computer system is advanced enough to recognize your footage in on their database somewhere. And they contact me and said, what do you want to do? You want to send him a note first and see if he takes it down or not. They give you the option of contacting the person and letting him know, look, you're using my footage, take it down. If you don't take it down, YouTube will. Or you could tell YouTube to send them a letter, an email, and YouTube will send them an email and say, if you don't take it down, we're taking down the whole video.
Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering how often that might happen, that people just, steal other people's, especially when we are using camera drones, little scenery. I mean, anyone could use that, repurpose it, put, like you said, put a little music behind it. I was
Hmm.
I was wondering how much, how often that might happen. I do see some people just watermark their stuff the whole way through, so it makes
It
it a little
doesn't matter
harder.
sometimes because it's how quick YouTube catches it. Like I said, they just hit me with something that I did 2 years ago. Herman and I
Yeah.
have been doing this live stream 3.5 years. So and then I got hit with something recent. Well, not hit, but they warned me about something recently that I did within the last year. And they contact the guy, and he immediately took the video down and stuff like that. So they're on point, and it doesn't it applies to non-monetized people also.
That's good.
FYI,
Yeah, that's good.
it's just a matter of how much or whatever. But anyway, back to you and what's going on in your world. I know you got a ton of footage and stuff. I wish I could have made it up there with you guys, but I
We'll do it
am
again. We'll do it again, or we'll come down your way.
I
I've
went to
been
Coney
wanting to.
Island yesterday.
You did? I want to go to Coney Island.
Hold on. I'm gonna change my background real quick. Let me add this photo here just to give you a teaser of what I shot yesterday. I basically shot a bunch of panels. The pilot who went with me was not, it's 7:35. Okay. The guy that I'm remembering the number. The guy who went with me had never flown at Coney Island before.
Oh, wow. That looks
Okay,
awesome.
so this is, I would have to change the camera angle, of course, or change my, turn myself around, but that's the infamous parachute ride that they had there.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
And it's, you guys need to come on down. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Usually I do pay attention to the chat. JSK, Michael Blades, Jackrabbit was here. Thanks, Ray Kelly. Northside Hawk, I think I said what's up to him. Um, we have the first story that we're going to get into is um, a company called Oneida's Holding. Now, Oneida's Holding, correct? I don't know if I'm correct on this or not, but they either brought American Robotics or started American Robotics. I'll have to research that. But American Robotics has been given their Part 107 waiver to expand to automated BVLOS, beyond visual line of sight. And what this basically means is now that they have permission to fly their industrial drones beyond visual line of sight, they are officially a drone delivery slash mapping slash beyond visual line of sight company. And basically, their drone, they're called Scout System, has a range up to 10 miles. And something that goes 10 miles, you can't have a spotter every few miles or whatever. They're mostly in agricultural work from what I've seen, but they've introduced this drone in a box about a year ago. And I thought it was kind of interesting because we heard drone in a box 2 years ago and everyone was laughing. Why would you need a drone in a box? You know,
There it is.
yeah, why would you need a drone in a box? And the objective is to have one of these set up in an agricultural field, and it by just doing a 3D map of the area, it can determine dry spots, spots that are flooded out, spots where there's no growth. Um, it has its advantages for having a drone in a box, but they plan on expanding agriculturally to to factories and places that have those electrical lines going from state to state. They say one of these drones in a box every 10 miles would cover 10 miles of area that you would have to pay a man to cover on in a vehicle. Hey,
Yeah, and
Susan
that's
Lee.
what not everybody realizes, that drone commerce is not just about delivering tube socks. It is about agriculture and industry and checking lines and that sort of thing. There are so many different applications, but there are these hurdles that need to be crossed before that can become a reality. And beyond visual line of sight is pretty much the last one. They've been laying the groundwork for everything else.
Well, you're right about that. That is the last part of any drone business because if you watch some of the stories we've done had to do with people getting their first hover certificate. You have to get a certificate just to hover a vehicle. You have to get a certificate to move forward and to move back, to transition in a flight. Then you have to get a certificate to perform an actual takeoff, combination flight, come back and land before you can get a visual with cargo, with payload or without payload. Northside's laughing. He said tube socks. Hey, Angie. But you're 100% right about that. And then the final step is to get beyond visual line of sight because you need to be able to fly from point A to point B. You can't have a
Right.
spotter every 2 miles on the ground with binoculars.
Right. And once the first company gets that beyond visual line of sight, it's just a matter of time. This is coming. People have been naysayers for a long time that it'll never happen, but it is coming. The groundwork is being set.
It's, I agree. I agree with you 1000%. Not only is it being set, but records are being written down. And when people have things, now there's stuff to look for. Like there weren't a bunch of cases where drone pilots were arrested and their drones were taken. And now there are cases all over the United States. And now judges have something to refer to. Now businesses have something to refer to. If this company, American Robotics, has the ability to fly their drone 10 miles and you have 410 miles of electrical wiring back and forth through the states, you might want one of these drones in a box to cover an area or sporadically, give or take. Help me out there.
Yeah.
You
but,
know,
but no, it is necessary to expand the whole drone commerce model. And I think it's coming. And once they're proven for 10 miles, the next step is 20 miles. Everything's going to build upon itself until this stuff is actually really here and really operational.
well, talking about that, the only one that doesn't need a visual beyond visual line of sight is the United States government. And they have the world's best drone right now because they're getting ready to launch the drone, I think, in a few days. Somewhere, it's not a drone, it's an actual rocket, and it's supposed to go up and circle the moon twice and come back to the earth and land. And it's unmanned. So right now they got the baddest drone in the world.
That is, that is.
Can you imagine what it would take to circle the moon twice, lose transmission signal, come back around?
Yeah, right. You're going through rock, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. They're not like DJI. They're not like FPV. You have that helical on, and you can shoot through through the moon and still have a signal. That's
Yeah.
not happening. Hey, little llama Laura, how are you? Anyway, welcome to Sunday nights with those guys, and
These guys.
Tammie Jean is here hanging out with us, filling in for Herman. Herman is away at football camp. I hope you're having fun. He did say he might be able to make it, but I asked him to send me a text. So unfortunately, he couldn't. And we rarely go by script. The list of stuff that I said we would do in the beginning. So we kind of go squirrel every now and then in between stories. So you can relax, you can tell a joke.
Well, I didn't prepare my list of jokes, but
Okay, all right. Now, how many FPV drones you have? You have the
I just
FPV.
have one. I just have one operational. I do have hopes of getting more traditional carbon frame FPV drone going, but I would need a little help. So setting
Now
it up.
see, wait a minute. You mean we're gonna have to get on our boy Max Air for that?
So
I'm sure he's got a spare carbon frame somewhere, and I'm
no,
sure he.
I have the frame. I'm probably gonna have to get an air unit and because I do want to use my digital goggles. So
Well, that's not hard.
it's
You're
coming.
talking about an air unit or a Vista unit, either or,
Mhm.
right? So you want to
Right.
stay digital. So
Yes.
now, is the reason this drone is not operational because Max Air won't help you build it?
No, he'll help
Or
me. I think it's been we've both been busy, we've both been traveling, we've been all over the place, and it's coming. It's coming. I might have to get out my soldering iron at some point and start tinkering with it. But it's looking at me. It's ready. Is it? No, this
well,
way.
see, this is what I'm hinting at. It's Max knows how to build and
He
repair
does.
FPV
He
drones,
does.
but if he does it for you, you'll never learn.
Right. No, I'll be there. I Max used to build, back in his early days, he built all of
Oh,
his
don't tell me he's got
drones.
bougie now. He buys his shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, ready to fly.
Wow. Well. I bow my head in shame.
Oh, you build everything, Lawrence?
I have no choice. I'm building. When we were in Florida, I destroyed this one. I put on new motors, a new flight controller. I'm rebuilding it, and she's going to be digital
Oh,
because I
okay.
don't have a freestyle drone. All my drones are for cruising.
Okay.
I mean, I can do corkscrews and power loops and building dives with them, but I want something that I may break an arm or two. I have some extra arms, and I'm ready to mash this one up
But
to learn how to fly.
you've never tried a ready to fly?
I did when I first started out. I brought a couple of ready to flies. My very
Yeah.
first one was a E-Sheen Wizard
Oh,
220.
yep. Yep, I remember that one.
I did buy that one. What else did I buy? I'm afraid almost I have to put my head down in shame again. I brought a Hubsan X4 Storm,
Oh,
which was like a little 3 inch. Yeah, don't say that too
yeah.
loud. Back there goes piece of shit ready to fly. You know what?
Yeah.
That E-Sheen, it that E-Sheen, my very first one, because I had two like a fool. The very first one, I used to fly line of sight.
Hmm.
And I would go to the end of the park and come back, and the park is like 300 and something yards wide.
Yeah.
And one day I decided to do a triple spin or something, and I lost orientation. And I said, okay, let me turn around and come back. And it was getting smaller. So I went
Yeah.
up. I went up and I turned a little to see if I could see it going to the left or going to the
Right.
right.
You're supposed to
And
go
it
to the
just
left.
got even smaller.
Uh-huh.
So I was
I
like,
can't do it. I can't do line of sight. I tried early on. Max let me fly his, and I kind of went a little too fast. I went a little too far, and then I couldn't figure out which direction I was going. I couldn't see. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know." And I just kind of grounded it. That was the end of my line of sight with that drone for a while. I stuck to toys for a while or my camera
really?
drone.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what's funny? Because the very first time I started flying with goggles on, I
Mm.
couldn't fly line of sight no more.
It's easier with the goggles. Like it's scary because you have to trust them. And I feel like at first I didn't have a feel for how far off the ground I was. So I was a little nervous that am I low? Am I high? I kept like peeking out from the goggles to see where I was. But once you start to trust them, it is so much easier, I think, than line of sight. Line of sight is difficult.
Well, how long you've been flying for a while with goggles on, right? But have you?
Yeah. I started last April.
Okay, so you've been flying for more than a little while, and I want to ask you, and I've been flying FPV seriously, I could say now for about 3 years, two and a
Okay.
half, 3 years, hard. I was
Hmm.
in the FPV for 5, but the other two I don't want to mention. But I experienced my first time vertigo while flying.
You experienced what?
Vertigo while flying.
Oh,
It bugged me out because I almost fell.
I did yesterday, Herman. I mean, I said Herman, I meant Lawrence. I did yesterday. We were, those mountains you were showing with the fog, we
Hmm.
were out on the edge of one of them. And I was almost out of battery. And I said, let me just go up to the top and I'll kind of shoot down to where we are.
Hmm.
And so I went up to the top of this mountain. I've got the DJI FPV and I put the camera down. So I'm looking down at this roadway that we're on. And as I started to come down, I thought I was going to fall right off the cliff. I said, "Oh my God, let me sit down," because I think I was dizzy for a good 15 minutes after that. I don't
You
know,
know,
something about that angle. I don't think I'll be diving buildings.
it has to be the angle because the first time I experienced it, I learned to fly standing up. So you know you get in a position with your legs spread. So
I
if
stand up too. I
right,
lean.
so huh? Go
I
ahead.
lean on something, but I stand up. Yeah.
No, well now, present day, I have to lean on something, but I stood
Uh,
up and I was on a manhole cover that was elevated about 3 feet off the ground. So I had to
uh,
stand on this, and when I experienced the vertigo, I was up really high. I was like, let me just go straight up for just hit the throttle. Woo! Maybe 250, 300 feet, maybe about 350. And I looked down, and all of a sudden it just went woo, woo. And I was like, whoa, but I could feel my body moving like this. And I came down slowly. I stopped looking at the ground. I leveled off and I descended like that. But for that slight little minute, I never experienced vertigo going up in the air that high.
and
It was
mine was
weird.
on the way down, and I thought I was going to fall flat on my face, which I think would have landed me in the Hudson River somewhere because we were on a cliffside, and yeah, it was a little scary. I
Well,
don't
like you
know.
said, now I actually lean against something or I sit down.
Hmm.
I never flew sitting down, but I flew sitting down and I'm getting spoiled.
Yeah.
I'm getting spoiled. I don't have to worry about falling over. I might do the Stevie Wonder if I duck out. You know how you duck out of the way or something that's real close, you'll go
Yeah.
with your goggles on?
Yeah. Do you move your head around a lot?
Um, my problem is I learned to fly with someone told me when you're learning to fly FPV with goggles on, put your chin in your chest, right? And what that does is it forces you to think, okay, if my head is up in the air and someone says, put your head down, you know that you can straighten your head out. But as of lately, I've been flying, I start out straight like this and I turn slightly to the right. I don't know why. I don't know what that shit is about, but I turn slightly to the right and even a controller. So if I'm looking straight, I'll be like this. And I don't know now, but I don't move much though.
I don't think I move too much, but every once in a while, I think when I'm chasing drift cars, I feel like I'm trying to like get around this turn, and I can feel myself twisting my whole body trying to chase that car. And yeah, the next thing I know, I'm like, am I twisted?
Well, see,
Like I'm completely facing the wrong way.
Well, see, that's how I wind up. After I land, or you know how you land, you come in, you try to get that cool shot of yourself coming in the land like that. I see my body twist. I'm like, straighten out. You're coming in, they'll see you twisted. I
Yeah.
straighten out for that shot, but I usually fly like this to the side for some reason. I don't move my head around. I have a friend that does the Stevie Wonder. I know a few people that do that, but I will flinch. Like if I'm close on something,
Hmm.
I will go like that, or
Jump out of the way.
yeah, physically jump out of the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But um, you know what? We might as well go straight to it. Are you getting the Avata?
I'll be honest, I would like to. I think it looks fun.
Keep talking the door. Someone's,
Okay. I think it looks fun and I would love to have it, but I'm not ready to buy it. Financially, I'm not ready to buy it. I need it to come down a little bit in price, or I need to save up a little bit. Like it's just not the time for me to go buying new drones. I would love to say I'm just gonna get it because I do think it looks like fun, but not yet. Not yet. Eventually,
well,
I would like to add it to my collection.
I'm stuck on on what I'm gonna stick with, and I keep saying I will not buy a DJI FPV drone until they put one on carbon fiber.
I would love to see what the next, I would love to see what the V2 is going to be like, if they come out with the DJI FPV2. I would love to see some improvements with that drone, see what they come up with because yeah, I think that is the biggest complaint is that it's made of plastic that shatters upon impact. So
Yeah,
um although Max has one that he's crashed about 6 times already, and
because he knows how to duck and roll. He
well,
knows
he
how to
named
cut
it
the engine and
Tank.
go into a spin.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. He went into a tree with it. It's gone
oh,
into the
get out.
ground. Somehow this one is defying the odds, I would say.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't try to crash, but then again, I don't know how risky I am, and I haven't flipped it into manual yet. I have plans. I'm going to just plan on using my DJI Care Refresh. And that's the week I'm going to flip it into manual and most likely kill it. But I would like to feel manual with that
yeah.
drone.
The thing is to just take your time. That's
Yeah.
all. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. There's no rush, and that's what's cool about those particular drones. You can start out in from beginner mode and work your way all the way through. With
Yeah.
FPV, they kind of throw you to the wolves.
True. And I will say that I flew it in manual mode for
Did you?
probably not manual, normal mode, which is the one with the most safeguards and everything. That first step, like step one, I flew like that for 9 months probably. And then I said to Max, you know what? I'm flipping it into sport. Like that was a big deal.
But
But
it
then
was. It
it
was.
was because we fly at the drift track quite often, and I had mastered normal mode and throwing it into sport. I felt like I was all over the place at first. I said, I am flying messy. But now sport mode is, I only fly in sport mode. So yeah, if there is, I'm like poster child for taking baby steps because I do not feel like I'm a natural in any way. But
Well,
yeah,
see, that's how I am with freestyle. I mean, I know how to do a power loop. I know how to do a split S. I know how to do a corkscrew. I can dive a building. Now it's just a matter of doing all that shit at the same time that's
yeah,
bugging me out because
all in the
it's a
same
lot.
pack.
Right, on the same pack. It's a lot harder than people actually think it is to fly freestyle. It's so
Yeah.
easy for me because I have the beach here. We have 8 miles of beach. My FR7 is my biggest bird. It's a 7-inch bird. It's the one
Oh,
with the camera on the bottom and the FPV camera on top. And that one has a range of 2 miles and hits a
oh,
top speed of 73 miles per hour. So you can do a mile really quick. And
yeah.
it's I just can't picture freestyling with something that big. I've dived a building with it, but it was like with a
Really?
bus. It was like,
Boss.
uh, and then when I did get up there, it slowly turned over. And but I dived the building with it. It was funny though.
And you were able to bail out of that before hitting the ground. So you did
Oh,
well.
you didn't see what Akarasho put in the chat. He put, "Holy shikes, Herman spent an awful lot of time in makeup before tonight's live stream."
And hair.
Yes, and hair too, right? And background. They stole Tammie Jean's background, right?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is you keep on just take your time, Tammy. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I'm in
Don't
no
let nobody
rush.
rush you. Don't keep up with no. Listen, that's a problem with a lot of people now. They let people talk them into doing shit they're scared to do. You got to go into it, like you said. One day you're gonna put it in full acro mode, and you're gonna be ready. DJI can refresh. You may not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do it. And actually though, I mean, I've also considered that I just don't put the DJI FPV into manual mode and I do it with a carbon frame and then maybe I'll be less nervous about it too, you know. I've done the simulator and I think I
Well,
did well on the simulator, so we'll see.
well, simulators are okay, except for the fact a lot of them don't account for gravity
Yeah.
and wind.
Right. And wind.
These are factors that you say, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna go straight up vertically and do a little bunny flip to flip to the left, right?
Hmm.
Now, on a simulator, you do that and it goes up smoothly, flips over, levels off when you're ready. With a real bird, you do that, you flip over, you start descending at about 5, 10, 15 miles an hour. There's a lot of factors you have to take into account.
Yeah.
Practice up high. There's nothing to hit up
Right.
there.
Right. Three mistakes high, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
need some FPV night spots. Where do you guys fly at night? Usually a good place, sky control to fly is like a mall area. For one, there's always a lot of people
Mm,
around, but if there's a parking lot area that's away from people, that just has the street lights, that's a pretty good area to practice flying at night with, or an empty parking lot that's well lit at night.
right.
I,
Right.
I mean, I didn't practice flying over concrete for about a year after I was flying FPV. And now I go out over concrete water. It just doesn't matter. If you're going to crash, you're going to freaking crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Well, that's one thing I do like about the DJI FPV is that I'm not afraid to fly over water because I don't know if I've ever lost signal actually. I have with my Phantom 4. I don't think I've ever lost signal with the DJI FPV, but if you do, it just goes into like a standby for a moment. It'll return to home. I've
I'm,
flown pretty far out over water, chasing jet skis, chasing boats. I mean, the
yeah,
range and the
yeah.
confidence is kind of what I like about it.
I was chuckling while you were talking, not to be chuckling with you, but I was chuckling at what Bill Coast to Coast says. He says, I don't know who Herman's plastic surgeon is, but I need his number.
See, everybody misses Herman, though.
Huh? What?
I
What?
said everybody misses Herman.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But it's you're a lot easier on the eyes. No, I'm playing. Herman's my boy. We hang out all the time.
I know.
We're partners we're partners, business partners, etc. So it's eat, drink, sleep, work, drones, business, work, drone,
Mm,
business. Because if you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you.
that's right.
Now, here's the question of the day. When are you going to buy a carbon fiber drone instead of that DJI thingy? You haven't found anything you might be interested in?
I already have a carbon fiber drone and it's set up for digital. I just, like I said, I think I need that air unit and a
But
little
you're
assistant.
talking about that one behind you, right? Over your left
Mhm.
shoulder?
Yes, it's a Copus 2 pre-built, and that's what Max was flying prior to the DJI FPV. He was flying the Copus, and
Okay.
he loves that drone. But the the confidence that you get from that I think actually he wants to put air units into everything. He likes digital.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
likes to be able
It's
to fly
it's
out over water, fly far.
it's the way to go. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't had any personal experience with the Run Cam Vista units as of yet, but I'm thinking about purchasing one. Right now, they still have enough Nebula and Polar units out there. They have the Air units. They have the new Air 3 units, but the 3 won't work unless you have the new goggles.
I know.
Yeah, what do you think about that? You think DJI could have came out a little better on that deal?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Joe.
I don't think those goggles are still fairly new. I don't think we should be making them outdated
The V2
already.
goggles, right?
Yeah, we people spent a decent amount of money on these. They shouldn't be I don't think they should be by the wayside already. I mean, those new ones, I think they look nice, especially that they're smaller. I have a small head, I think, and I'm kind of like when I have those goggles on my face, they always want to fall down, and I literally like I smile as I'm flying just so my cheeks can hold them up a little bit. So
That's
I'm not
funny.
saying I'm not saying I'm opposed to the smaller goggles. I'm just saying I think we could work together a little bit
Well,
more
from what
here.
I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, that SIN unit, they do have an individual SIN unit that's supposed to work. It's supposed to work with the V2s
Oh
because
yeah,
you have people that still have the original controller, and people are
right.
just buying that drone by itself. So you should be able to bind it with the
Oh, okay.
V2s. But
Yeah.
like you said, I'm happy with my bug eyes. I just got the iFlight patch put in front of them. I still have the little stubbies out the top, but I have the iFlight patch because for distance, and
Uh-huh.
I'm quite happy with them. I don't need a lighter, smaller pair. Like you said, they are top heavy. I mean, you put them down, you put them on, you can't bend down like this and look at the ground. They might fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. They are kind of big, but I mean, I feel like I'm seeing really nicely through them. I have no complaints there. I guess you can see even better out of the new ones, but you know,
How
I don't
much better, really? How
I don't
much better,
know.
really? I mean, they're a
I don't
little lighter and you look like a superhero. So what?
know. Right. A superhero instead of a bug, but who cares?
Right, right. Exactly. I had the ninja eyes on mine until a little boy walked by and he says, "Mommy, he can see you, you know." But
Oh.
they were, because I had the little ninja eyeballs on the front panels.
Yeah.
So she's like, "He can't see nothing." Yeah, I guess he can see inside. Little boy goes, "Mommy, he can see you. See, I see the eyes." But he was talking about the stickers on the front.
Yeah.
Um, Whether I'm getting one, it's determined. I'm not going to. I'm not motivated. I know how they're modular. But for those of you who may be interested still, here's a link. I'm saying that it's a great drone. For the footage I've seen, Billie Jean, Tammie Jean. Do you get that a lot? Someone say Billie Jean instead of Tammie Jean sometime?
I don't think I've gotten that, but I think the main thing with my name is saying it with a little bit of a southern twang.
Okay. Hey, Crypto, what's good, man? Well, here's the link. I mean, they claim if you order them, if you order it now here's the deal. DJI has a deal. If you buy the AVATA straight from them, they'll grant you a golden ticket to on DJI Day 2022. Now, they have not had this DJI Day for about 2 or 3 years, due to COVID and stuff. But usually, when they have a golden ticket deal, what it consists of is on that day, which is determined by them, DJI Day, if you own certain products or you buy something to get a ticket, this golden ticket, they give out stuff like accessories and stuff like that. It says DJI, when you add the drone to your cart at checkout, only through the DJI website, you'll find a golden ticket on your confirmation page. We've seen golden tickets during the drone releases, and this one is for their day 2022, DJI Day 2022, which is to be announced because no one knows when it is. But they say if you buy the Avata by itself with no RC for $629, or you buy the Fly Smart combo with the controller or whatever, that's 1,168, or you buy the Pro View combo for 1,388. This ticket will come Um, it must be purchased through DJI though. That's the
Mhm.
only catch.
And the DJI day, is that like is it a shopping day online like Amazon Prime Day or something like that?
It's something similar to that, where they have a day where if you own the Air 2S and the DJI AVATA, or you own the AVATA, they have, yeah, it's like their coupon day.
Okay.
It's basically their coupon day. Let's see. Hold on. Let me
So
click
it's
on
not
the.
like a live event with Oompa Loompas. I mean, golden ticket, It sounds pretty
I
fun.
know, right, right. You expect to see the chocolate factory and or
Yeah,
how drones are made, or DJI Day. They should have a parade of drones marching down the street, with a light show. But
right.
no,
Factory
usually
tour, backstage, something.
right, right, right. Go in a real test cage with a wind tunnel,
Yeah.
with an M300,
Yeah,
something
let's
like
see
that.
that. Let's have a real, DJI day.
Exactly. But kudos to them. I hope they're successful with it. I, I must confess, I am an affiliate of DJI, and the link I put in there, if you do buy something through them, I get some change for it.
Sweet.
No, but a lot of people, they did stop their affiliate program, and I was going through DJI website, and they were like, "Your affiliate program, we've changed the rules to the affiliate program because the affiliate program you can use it to post links. Like if you notice how reviewers have links to stuff, those are
Right,
usually affiliate links. So if somebody buys something through that link, they get a little bit of change out of the deal or a few dollars off the
right.
deal." But DJI seems to have restarted. Hey, drone visuals, they seem to have restarted their affiliate program again. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you have an account with DJI, go to their website and see if you qualify for it, and also sign up for SkyPixel.
Oh,
iPixel, they take videos, they take photos of your work, and it stays on the DJI website. And if someone likes that picture, or you start getting a certain amount of likes for it or whatever, or somebody may won't be interested in the picture or want to use it, they usually contact you,
oh, sweet.
or they enter your picture into a contest and say your picture was chosen out of so many pictures to or video. So I've just started uploading stuff to SkyPixel. Let's see where it goes. I mean, the
That's
more
interesting.
places, the more places you have your stuff, the more you're able to be seen.
That's right. More eyes on it. Why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah, and shipping and tax used to be in a price. Yes, you're right. Jim's Droning says shipping and tax used to be included in the price. Now, not anymore. Straight from the DJI store, you get it for that price. So if you have 629 for the drone by itself, you pay 629. Now, if you buy it here in the States from Best Buy or Wally World or wherever the hell you get it from, you're going to pay tax on it. Which I don't know if you knew this, but Herman had put me on to this little tip here, and it's kind of backwards because it's illegal to to consider something illegal and charge taxes for it. So if drones are illegal, how come they're charging us tax for them when we buy them?
Oh, that's funny.
Think about it. Think about it. If people try to say drones are illegal, they're not illegal if the state or the government is making taxes off of it, and
Right.
they're selling them here. But anyway, enough of that. It's 6:49 p.m. Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. I'm sorry, but I have to insert this here. Some of you may see a commercial, some of you may not. YouTube is trying so hard to make sure that people who are non-monetized get commercials, and people who are monetized get commercials. Like on my screen, I could add a commercial every 10 seconds if I wanted, every 30 seconds.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes. It's crazy, but
It gives
they
you that
insist.
option?
Yes, I'll show you right here. They suggest to do it once every 15 minutes. You see right here, this doll right here
Oh, yes.
says insert ad right there.
Oh,
So you press
wow.
that. I usually like to try and do it every half hour or whatever, but yeah, it says insert ad right there. And this shows you, well, you know the rest of the YouTube stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
like to
oh,
play
oh,
around
this
in
is what
it.
I wanted to show you too. Oh, since I have it up here, hold on, check this out. This is something it added too. You see this right here? You can add stream markers. So when you are doing a live stream and exactly 10:01, you want to start a new segment, you could say segment so and so, or you can click this little marker and it'll section off. So in your description, you could put fast forward to 1 minute and 4 seconds. Fast
Oh,
forward
okay.
five. So I don't know if they have it on other. They might have added it to other people who are non-monetized as well. It's a great idea. You can mark your video.
So is that for afterwards to create chapters?
No, it's
Or,
while you're live. You can create the chapters while you're live.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So they're trying to fix things up. I just wish they would fix up the subscriber thing with all the Russian bots and all of that stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah.
what can
Up,
you do?
up to down five, you can never figure it out with the subscribers.
Yeah, for the longest, I couldn't break 3,900. I would break it and then drop down to 3,800 and something. Then I would break it again. And now I seem to be above it by 6 or 7, but it usually drops back down below.
Yeah, you
Um,
just need a cushion.
hey, we got another story to talk about here. The best and the worst states in the United States for drone delivery in 20, according to the stats in 2022. And it basically is a list of the states that are more, not how would I say, Tammie, not more likely to start a drone piece. How would I say it?
No, they're kind of ranking them by who's best set up to be ready for drone commerce in their states, because some states, for instance, have some real loosey-goosey laws as far as private property, no trespassing, that sort of thing, and that makes it more likely for litigation once drone commerce starts. So they put together a list of states based on certain criteria, one of them being laws, one of them being it's kind of
They
like
have the
who's set up.
landowner, they have five, you're right, they actually have 5 different qualifications to become a drone worthy state or more likely to be successful with drone with running drone business, everything from drone taxi to delivery drones. And the 5 things are airspace lease laws, which would be the ability to fly in airspace above public roads or private property.
To
The
create like
second,
drone highways, that sort of
right,
thing.
what you're going to have to do. You can't have drones flying under bridges and stuff. Um,
Right.
just to get out to one side of a road. Then you have navigation easement laws, which gives you permission to fly drones as long as they are high enough to be quiet and not a noise nuisance, which means that
Exactly.
they have to be up high enough that their props and noise are not affecting people. It changes the air. A lot of people don't notice, but it changes the air pressure around the sound of drones. Another one that they have, number 3, is a task force or program office, meaning whether or not the state has a dedicated drone program.
Right. And a department, to look at drones and drone laws and drone commerce. Some states are already on it with this, and some haven't even gotten a department together to look at those sort of things.
It's true. We have a list of who's on point with this stuff and who sucks and who's at the bottom of the list, because and here's number 4, landowners' air rights.
Mm-hmm.
The risk of litigation related to a clarity of a state's property rights cleared rights translates to less risk, meaning they will actually, like here in New York, I was explaining to Tammie Jean that we have a 50-mile corridor that's specifically designed for no other aircraft other than UAVs, small UAVs, delivery drones, etc. These landowner air rights are what this particular litigation is related to for the state. They need to have dedicated airspace where you know nothing else is going to go into that airspace or fly through that airspace.
Right. And I think there's been
And
a lot of talk too, just about, we always talk about the FAA rules the airspace and they've got from a blade of grass up into the clouds. But, when drone commerce starts, that is actually more of a gray area. And they're talking about, will states and cities, share jurisdiction of some of these areas? It's,
yes,
because that's the only way to create these drone highways.
right, right. You're going to have to fly over people's private property. You're going to have to fly over highways. You're going to have to fly in and around places where there are people. Now, transition from ground to air, you may hear, like in New York, the number one noise complaint in New York are helicopters.
Yeah, I
You know, so
imagine. Yeah.
so and the last thing on this list for these cities and for these states, and we'll go through the list of states too. A job estimate, which means the number of jobs drone delivery would create.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they say drone delivery, they mean people, merchandise, tube socks,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
actually,
and
I think what I read too is they did add one more criteria to the list this year, which they called the sandbox. And that's
yes,
an area for testing of all of this.
and
So,
that's that 50-mile corridor that we have here in New York that's upstate. And it stretches across several counties because my a former nephew-in-law still lives up there, and he tells me everyone that's within that 50-mile corridor gets a text, a commercial on TV, and some other way they hang up signs, etc., saying that they're doing testing and you're not to fly anything in the air. You will be arrested on the spot. Stay on the
wow.
ground. There are no planes in the area, but they get this warning. And he says you see different stuff flying by all the time. Now they're used to it. But before you would hear a strange sound and you look and you say, well, what the hell is that? Now the people up there in that particular town are used to hearing and seeing strange stuff going back and forth.
That's
But at the
funny.
town of Utica, New York, there aren't a whole lot of drone pilots, and I could see why, because this corridor goes right over them. I think
Oh, okay.
it goes from Rome, New York. If you're familiar with Rome, New York, it
Mhm.
goes from Rome, New York, all the way to like Utica.
And so that would be an area for drone commerce and not for recreational flyers. I mean, that would basically be a no-fly zone,
Yes,
right?
but they call it a sandbox because all testing and R&D would be done there. Um, um, certifications for beyond visual line of sight, transitional flight, all of that stuff is they're saying is be done in the sandboxes.
Right. And that's a proving ground. Once some of these things are successfully proven, then other companies can join in and that those are the stepping stones for having drone commerce. But not all
I
states have an area like that. So
That's true. And I didn't have the chat up. I see that they're laughing at former nephew-in-law, distant relative. No. But getting to these states that are in this list, the list is extensive because the number one state that, and this holds number one, there are several ties, but the number one state is Oklahoma. And it doesn't, they say the reason they don't get as much coverage is because they are focusing on being prepared for the next few years coming in. They have scored a 74 out of a 100. And out of that list of five, they have four out of the five. Right now, no one else in the United States has four out of five in that list of airspace aggregation, task, landowners, job estimates. Some of them in the list have job estimates, some of them don't. And that's what dictates where you are in the list.
So they've maybe already come up with a drone task force for their state. They're already looking
Hmm.
at solidifying these laws, so there's not a lot of gray area.
They
So
act, I'm
that's how you
sorry,
get up
go
there.
ahead.
I was
They
gonna say that's
actually
how you
do.
get prepared.
They actually do. They said Oklahoma, they're actually using the Choctaw Nation Native American Reservation signed in as a participant to the FAA. It's called an IPP program, Integration Pilot Program. And the initiative was aimed at to speed up the adoption of drones in the U.S. airspace. And the tribal government has allotted 44,000 acres of land for testing. So
Wow.
not only, and the reason for doing this, the Choctaw Nation American Reservation says is because our people get to watch, our people and everyone involved in this get to watch history and see how the future is formed and shaped in this particular testing area.
Preparing for the future.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see. Oh, where it says, I'm trying to find the exact what he says. What he's one of the people said. Here in rural southeast in Oklahoma on a reservation, we have a front row seat to what the future of technology is going to look like because they'll get to see everything new there. You're giving their land for testing. But number one is Oklahoma. Number two is North Dakota. Number three is Arkansas. Number four is Arizona. Number five is Minnesota.
Now, I wonder if
Um,
some of these states are making the list because they have more open space to devote to testing areas,
you would
sandbox
think,
areas.
but what I found out, unlike places that are crowded like here, these places are saying, let's preserve the land. We don't want anything there. We would love looking at the mountains. I love looking at the mountains too, but the airspace has nothing to do with the mountains and the land. And you understand? But as they see others as other states, if you notice, how would I make the example? New York and California. You know yourself, if it's not happening in New York or California, it's not happening nowhere in the United States. You can do or find anything in New York City or California more than you can in any of the states out there, right?
Normally, yes, but are they going to be left behind on drone commerce because they're not laying the groundwork, they're not preparing for it, they don't see it's happening. I don't know. Where's New
Well,
York on the list?
you're right, you're right. But it goes to say in the list also, tied for sixth is North Carolina. Okay, North
Okay.
Carolina only got three out of that five list, and they were tied for sixth place in this particular list. Also, Georgia and New Jersey were tied for sixth, and the
Wow.
only reason they were surprised New Jersey was here because of it sets what they call such a dense state, meaning there's a lot more people and less
Populated.
open space.
Yeah.
But the state completely lacks airspace lease laws or a drone sandbox, or else they would have got 5 of 5.
Okay. Yeah, I did read that they were talking about states and municipalities being able to lease the airspace above their roadways to create these drone highways. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it's an interesting way for municipalities to even have passive income, just leasing their airspace to companies that want to fly through there and creating the highways. It's an interesting concept.
It
I
is. It is. Huh?
I was gonna say, I don't know. I did read that there are some people that are not on board with the drone highways because rules would be changing from state to state. So, I think there's a lot more to figure out with it all, but it is coming one way or another. It's coming.
Well, you know what? You're 100% right about that because I'm just going to go through the list briefly, but I want to point out that things are changing so fast. You can't help but get on the wagon and ride it out because I'm not sure if it's California, but I heard on the news here in New York there's a state somewhere on the West Coast, I think it was California, they claim by 2030, was it 2030 or 2050, they want the entire state to be carbon, to have no carbon emission cars. It will be illegal to have a car that puts out exhaust. They want the entire state to run on electric cars and electric vehicles.
Wow.
I need to look that up. Hold on, because I remember I gotta know what state wants,
I think it was California. I think I saw that, Lawrence.
yes, cars. I know. I just want to confirm because it's something that's coming to all of us. That means eVTOLs, stuff like that. We have to, well, us as a country have to get on the bandwagon because everyone else around the world is already doing it. But tied for ninth is Nevada, Montana. 11th, there isn't even a tenth spot. Montana, oh no, Virginia is 11th. Texas is 12th, tied for 12th with Washington State. California is 14th. Maryland 15th, Delaware 16th, Wisconsin 17th, Louisiana 18th, tied for 19th place. And we're talking about states that are ready for drone commerce, etc. The number just gets worse and worse.
Right.
Tied for 19th is Ohio. Vermont is 21, Massachusetts 22, Missouri 22, Wyoming and Colorado are tied for 24th. And here they say the bottom half, because I think the numbers go as high as 50. I'm looking down the list, 48. This bottom half, okay, there's Indiana, Tennessee, Oregon, West Virginia, Kansas, New Hampshire, Utah, which, hold on, I think got one of the lowest ratings out of
Utah
the
did,
deal. And like you said, these are places that have wide open land that they should be on point with these programs,
but they're not preparing for the future. And, they're not thinking about these things that are coming. They don't have their drone department set up, their drone task force. They're not looking at the laws. They're not thinking about creating these highways. They're probably just not, they're not on board. And, they will be lagging behind everybody else.
hey,
And
TJ Giggles, you're 100% right. I agree with you tenfold. And I'm just going to stop at New York, at Alaska, which is 38, but Pennsylvania's 34th, tied for 34th. New York is 36, and we have a drone corridor, but they don't go into detail. It must be apparently low. Connecticut is 37, tied for 38th is Illinois, and Alaska has 0 out of those 5 recommendations,
oh,
tied for
wow.
38. They have 0. It scored a 0 in all three categories for, what does it say? Oh, but they do have a drone box. Oh
They
no, they
have
do not. They do not have a drone box. It said, if you a sandbox. If you guys want to know what a sandbox is, it's one of those corridors that are in some of these states that they're testing eVTOLs and delivery drones in. That's one of the qualifications. But it says Alaska has several testing facilities, but it hasn't set aside airspace for it.
Yeah. So you
So,
would think, and someplace like Alaska, it would seem to me with such, rugged landscapes, they could really benefit from a program even to deliver like, medical supplies and that sort of thing. It's not all about Amazon delivery or Walmart delivery. Some of these drone commerce companies are about delivering medical supplies and checking industry infrastructure and that sort of thing. And I would think with a rugged landscape like Alaska, you would want to be getting on board with some of these
you would
things.
figure, right? You,
Yeah.
you really would figure. Hey, what's up, man? There's drone ops and Northside. My problem with it were most of the states that were lacking were states that have almost infinite land.
Yeah.
Utah, Wyoming, I mean, you
Seems
have
like seems like
land.
they could have set some aside for testing purposes, right? But they're just it would maybe it just sounds like they're not getting ready for the future, you
You know
know?
what I think? You know what I think it is? I don't think it's so much they're not getting ready for it. I think they're watching their neighbors in other states because it's like a tsunami. And if you've ever watched a tidal wave, if you've never seen a tsunami before and you're at the beach, if you've watched documentaries on them, you will know what's coming because what happens with a tsunami is the waters come splashing in, then the water comes a little high, one or two times further than it's supposed to, and then all of a sudden the water disappears
That's right.
and the water goes out and people are like standing around, wait, whoa, where did the water go? That's the water building up to a tsunami. And these states are, maybe they're watching the tsunami come, maybe they'll get flooded, maybe they'll jump on the bandwagon early, later, better late than never, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is better late than never, but um I guess we can go squirrel now because the only other story I have is the one with South Korea and their UTM, and the live stream's almost over. I want to thank you for hanging out and not letting me drive you crazy. Because and if I was driving you crazy, you did very
Driving
well.
me crazy?
Yeah, and
No.
if I did, you did very well at putting up with me because Herman can't hide his facial expressions. He'll go. He'll put it, you know. You know, we love Herman, man. He's like I said, he's away at football camp. There probably will not be a Wednesday night with those guys. I wanted to point out.
Oh, because he'll be away all week.
He'll be they're away. They're the state. They're New York State high school champions with the three-peat going for four-peat. Wait, for four-peat. Yeah, they're going for a four-peat.
That's
Yes, because
awesome.
I know Herman says he wants to have one on all four fingers or something to that effect, and then a thumb. So they're working on it. So Erasmus Hall, I'm actually hoping. Last season, the one of the coaches asked me to be an end zone cameraman for
Oh,
them.
wow.
So I got to experience. I got to go to the championship game for free because I was a cameraman there down on the field, and it's actually pretty cool. All I do is stand there with a camera and record their plays, zoom out so you can see the play, follow the ball like a regular cameraman. But it was fun. I didn't appreciate high school football until I saw how serious the parents were. Yo, oh my God, some of the parents. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it does get pretty it gets pretty crazy up there in the stands, probably more crazy than it is on the field.
Well, let's put it this way. A lot of inner city kids. There's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of smoking in the stands. And the losing team usually leaves with an attitude and says something stupid to the winning team.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have had several incidents. Now, these games, there are police at these games, but I've never seen a major fight. But I did see some mothers, girl, you should have called me. I would have hopped over the fence and we would have.
Over high
But it's
school
fun.
sports, right? But
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's fun. I didn't know parents went through what they went through. But anyway, this story here that I have, the last one of the last stories for the night, has to do with South Korea, Jeju Islands. I hope I said it right, Jeju Islands. They plan on starting, and they're setting up right now for a air taxi UAM, unmanned urban aerial managed. Where the hell? Hold on. See, for some reason I can't. Urban air mobility. There's
Mobility.
so many
Yeah.
acronyms in your life.
Yes.
There's so many, but urban air mobility services in 2025. The South Korea's Jeju Islands are one of their number one tourist attractions. Okay, and what they plan on doing is setting up an air taxi service that consists of um, you coming into their airport and from the airport being whizzed away in an eVTOL taken to your hotel via eVTOL, and from there you can take smaller eVTOLs to visit islands and stuff like that. They say they plan to roll out an air taxi and future UAM service um, using coastal routes between three heavily frequented locations in Jeju, South Korea. So I think it's interesting because they say the UAM, the first route in the island's planned UAM network, will operate air taxis between Jeju International Airport on the central North Shore, and it will shuttle people via eVTOL to all of these different places that I don't dare try to pronounce because I can barely pronounce the name of the damn place, but they claim that they're ready to do it. And by 2025, this is a picture here. Hold on, I have to open another window to share it for some stupid reason. You know how they're getting smart on the internet. You can't download anything. They turn it into a web page.
Oh,
But
yeah.
this is one of the major airports here. No, sorry, here's the airport. This green line is the path that you will be taking from this airport to any of these tourist spots where you would land and get on smaller eVTOLs to go to any of these islands where the hotels are. So they claim this scenic area along the shore will be quite beautiful on your way. And the reason, if you're wondering why they took the coastal line, the reason being is the president of this particular area, or the ruler of this particular area, has established several TFRs, like where he lives, where he frequents, or places where they go, places of businesses along with the government. So they could not fly directly overland. And that was their main issue. So this green line they can fly, but this will be the main route. I just thought it would be kind of interesting to show that people all around the world are getting ready for drones. I don't know if they're going to be carrying people. I don't know if they're going to be yeah, call a sky taxi. I don't know if they'll be Tammie picking us up. And we talked about this before the stream, right? I said I don't think they would work too easy for us Americans who are a little bigger boned than some of the other people
They
around the
better
world.
they better make some bigger machines to carry Americans around. But you know, looking at that map, it does look like it would work nicely for tourism. I mean, going along that coastal area is probably
I'm going to pull it
beautiful.
back up. Keep talking.
It's
I'm pulling it back up.
a beautiful flight in itself, you know, besides being a way to transport people around the island. Going around the coast like that is probably, you know, a beautiful ride. And it also accomplishes, like, you don't have to worry about flying over buildings, flying over
Yeah.
roads. They've probably solved a few problems at once, you know, avoiding the president's residences, but
Ex-
also
exactly. And like other government buildings, he has established that, like other countries, he found out the president always has a TFR around him. So now when he like here in the United States, if a president is coming to New York through Kennedy, that TFR covers from Washington while and it moves with him, as well as the one they established in the sectional charts they put out saying that there's a TFR in this area. So it works out in both facts. In both, it works out for everyone. Like you said, that line along the coast there, I'm sure is really, really nice looking.
yeah.
And these areas with these circles will be the main routes, but I'm assuming you can get, they were saying you can get to all of these islands using eVTOL also.
Now, do you think that will pull people in as well? Do you think
Yes,
that's
hell
going to be a
yeah.
tourist draw to be up in one of those vehicles like that? Would you
Yes.
go?
Do you know the name of the park? It's a park that's in the air. I think it's Singapore. Hold on. Singapore Park in air, in the sky. That's what it is. If you know how they ask you if you had any place to go in the world Where would you go?
Sure.
This place, I'm trying to pull up the picture. I'm trying to hold on, pull up a picture of it. But this place in Singapore, if they added EV tolls to this, it could work. Here's a picture right now. I'm just trying to get past it. I didn't know they would take me to a damn video. All I wanted was a picture. Hold on, sorry about that. Hold on, here we go. I'll just share the whole damn thing. This park, now this is a tourist attraction here. This building right here is a tourist attraction.
Oh,
These
wow.
these three buildings are hotels and residential buildings, but the park is up here. It's an incredibly big area. Let me see if I can click on something else. This is part of it. It's actually up in the air. This is in Singapore. It's the sky observation deck. I'm trying to find a better picture. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This
Oh,
is the
wow.
park up here. And it's called the Sky Park, the Marina Bay Sands Sky Park.
I'm a
You don't
little
even
bit
have to go
terrified.
down. You don't even have, but check this out. You don't even have to go down where the normal folk are. You can stay in your hotel and go up on the roof and spend
Wow.
your whole vacation there.
This
I'm
is
really,
incredible.
really, really I'm seriously would love to go to this place. And it's very famous, a lot. I mean, if they gave me the option to freaking go here, I would. Let's see. And they don't have too many clear pictures, but let's do it this way. Park, Singapore Sky Park. Let's Google that. And let me stop sharing for a second and see. I'm trying to get you a better picture because it's crazy, this place.
I would like to know how high up it is as well.
I'm hoping to find something on it, a bio. You know what? Let's wiki it. Now, the good place to get decent information is from them on some stuff. Here we go. Visit. Here we go. Okay, it says I'm gonna share it right now. It says Marina Sands. Okay. This resort owned by Las Vegas Sands Corporation. It opened in 2010, and the resort has 2,561 rooms,
Wow.
and it cost about 8 billion US to build this place. I'm looking for a height. Okay, it is the park up top can hold 3,902 people, and it is a height of 490 feet in the air.
Oh, wow.
But guess what? In Singapore, they don't have laws like here in the States. I've seen guys fly their drones up there.
Yeah. And dive
Yeah, I've
it.
seen not FPV, mostly camera drones. I
Yes.
haven't seen anyone do it FPV wise, but the first time I do, shit, yeah. Hey, JSK, you have a great evening, man. We appreciate it. But that would be one of my fantasy places to go. I could
That's
fly FPV
amazing.
on top, fly FPV up top.
And sit down and dive it.
Yeah, yeah, you'd have to. You'd
You would
have to.
have to.
You'd probably pass out or accelerate so fast that you couldn't pull out of the dive.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can go out over the bay or something at the bottom. I don't know what's around it, but
Well,
that's an incredible looking place.
it's when if you get bored and you want to look at someplace really luxurious, that place, if I ever got the opportunity to go to Singapore, I would want to go there. I don't care. I would take a drone with me. I'd take whatever I could take with me you'd have to fly it.
Have to.
The rules are very much lax in Singapore, from what I understand. There were some parts of Singapore where you see guys up at incredible heights in the thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, over there. Yeah, in Asia, in fact, in Asia alone, there are a lot of places where these guys, it's scary to know that you're almost as high as a plane, or maybe as high as a plane transitioning, but they don't have any accidents, so I guess they're doing something over there.
Well, I guess they're trusting people not to be complete idiots.
Like here in the States, like here in the States. Hey,
Exactly.
Chris, what's up? Well, hey, you want to, I've been so rude as a host, having you on as a co-host. We have to have you do a plug for this, for your show.
Oh, for my show?
You have to do a plug for your stream. I mean, why not? What the hell?
Well, yes, I have been working on my, hopefully, I'll be a little better at having it be a weekly live stream. I had a little trouble while I was on vacation, but yeah, Thursday nights. And so far, I've been going on after Thursday Night Live with Ken Heron, so immediately afterwards. But sometimes I'm able to start a little earlier on his off week. So 10 o'clock is a little late to start, but as you know, the schedule is pretty full. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a good place to start anyway, and we'll see how it goes. But yes, Thursday nights after Thursday Night Live is the after party with Tammie Jean.
All right. That's a good thing. Like I said, like Ken Heron stream and a lot of people who come on like from 9 o'clock on. It's hard for me because, like I said, when I get up at 4 in the morning, 4:30, you know what
Yeah.
sleeping in for me is, Tammy? Sleeping in for me is 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Seriously. So it's hard sometimes, but I need. TJ Giggles says he'll be your co-host.
Oh, he'll be my co. Well, Max was my co-host this past week, and it's always fun when he's able to join me. We were actually almost on for 3 hours. I don't know how we did that, but
Wow.
yeah,
See, that's when you're having fun, though.
yeah,
When you're
exactly,
having fun and you're enjoying yourself, and then you're talking about different things, and the stream is going, and then you look at the time and you're like, wow, we were on for a long time. Me,
exactly.
I used to do the 2 hour live stream thing. I cut it down to an hour and a half, and I'm the hell out of here. I mean, some people, staying on another half hour wouldn't kill me, but it would. On certain days that I have to get up and go to work, I don't. I work part time, and then I'm doing the drone 107 stuff, and then I'm trying to, it's so my hands are in a lot of pots.
It's
If
hard to
we were in a
schedule.
if
It's
we were in
hard
a
to schedule
kitchen,
it all in.
it is. If we were in a kitchen, I would need a stove with about 15 burners on it because that's what I'm trying. No, seriously, you have to keep moving and doing this stuff. If you like this stuff, my tech support over here is mocking me. And he saw me look to the side. Tech support is like mocking me on the side, but it's good to have your hand in a lot of pots. And someone asked me, they say, you enjoy, oh shit, the piece of shit just hit a steel beam. Tank is okay.
What?
He just what he just said. He just said,
No.
Max just said, piece of shit just hit a steel beam. Tank is okay.
So that's impact number 7 for Tank. I mean, Tank's really he's defying the odds.
Listen, as long as you got the crash footage, that's all that matters.
Of course. Of
You
course,
know,
it's all about the footage.
if I wasn't so scared to go into Jamaica Bay where I lost my FP my 5 inch bird, I had my second digital blackout. I was skimming
Oh,
above the water, about 5 or 6 feet above the water at about 50 miles an hour, getting that scene of the water whooshing by, whooshing by. Then all of a sudden, the picture froze. So now I knew I was coming back
uh,
towards me over the water. So now I know I'm flying blind. So I try to fly with my ears. And I hear the drone off to what feels like 1 o'clock position. So I start climbing and I hear it coming towards me, and I'm trying to fly it back towards me by just using sound. I hear it getting louder, louder, and what I thought was on my immediate right, I heard it that close, maybe about 50, 60 feet away, and I cut the engine, thinking that I was overland, and if I cut the engine, it would fall into the grass and the bushes. and I'd find it. I cut the engine, all I heard was kaboom.
Oh, oh no.
So, and I have the footage, I have the DVR footage of cruising along the water, and then it freezes. So I'm thinking
Wow.
about doing an Instagram where you know how they have those sayings, this is the moment where you knew you fucked up.
Yes.
But it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was definitely I fly this area often digital, and it wasn't me. It was something happened to the drone. Something may have loosened. It. I've been flying this drone for. I've rebuilt it 4 times
Oh, wow.
already, and I finally made it digital. I had lights put around it and everything, and she went kabloosh.
Ah,
But it's okay. Listen, Tammie, it's that time.
is it already? Well, see, we were
It's
having
that
fun.
It's that time. I thank you so much for filling in for Herman.
Thank you for inviting me. This was great.
I appreciate you. They'll tell Max stop trying to wreck Tank
I will.
because that's what it sounds like he's doing. But we're gonna do the outro the same way we did the intro. And if you can hold on after I shut down the stream just for a second, and that's it.
All right. Sounds
Like
good.
Susan Lee says, great live. Novice and Tammie, have a wonderful night. God bless. Everyone have a wonderful day. Good night. God bless. We appreciate you all. Thank you for coming through. Anything you want to say before you get out of here?
No, just thank you for having me on those guys. And maybe if you're able, if you're still awake, come check me out on Thursday night.
You know, I have to take a nap during the day and then I can make it.
I have to have coffee to make it through. So
Oh, okay, I understand. Listen, we appreciate you all. Thanks for checking us out. And with that, we're going to say Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
those
Those Guys.
guys.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
I just hit the end. It'll take